Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. Bryan Kohberger went to court today. He was in a black suit and tie. This was a hearing about the non-dissemination gag order. This is Bryan Kohberger right here going into court. Now, there was a tense moment in court between the attorney of the Gonzalez family, Shannon Gray, and the judge. I'm going to share with you a report here of what happened in the courtroom today in reference to Shannon Gray, the Gonzalez family attorney. Check it out. So this is the news report. This is an attempt by the prosecution to shut them up. Emotions run high in Bryan Kohberger's gag order hearing. The prosecution claims they have reached out to the Gonzalez family for interviews, but their attorney advised against it. Emotions were high in the Lake Tahoe County Courthouse on Friday, where a judge heard arguments from a Idaho murder victim's family attorney, Shannon Gray, about why he should be able to speak more freely to the media. Gray represents the Gonzalez family, who lost their daughter, Kaylee Gonzalez, in November of 2022 in a brutal stabbing in Moscow. Bryan Kohberger is charged with the murder of her friends Madison, Ethan, and Xana. Before the hearing, Lake Tahoe County Judge John Judge apologized to the victim's family for mispronouncing some of their names during Kohberger's arraignment on May 22nd. The loss of your children is devastating and horrific, Judge said. I was up all night, really ill, probably food poisoning. Also some emotion and nerves as I read those names. I'm sorry. Currently, a non-dissemination order, a gag order, is in place regarding the case, which forces those individuals in the investigation or with knowledge of any evidence to abstain from commenting about it to the media. It was issued January 3rd and later amended. Gray filed his motion to amend or clarify the order because he said it was too vague. In the hearing Friday, he told John Judge that because he and the Gonzalez family are not considered a party in the case against Kohberger, he should be able to speak more freely on the behalf of the family, even though Gray has been speaking to the media anyway. Gray also accused the prosecution of keeping the Gonzalez family in the dark. They didn't even know a grand jury was convened to indict Kohberger on the murder charges. He told the judge, he said the family has never been interviewed. I have not seen a poorer line of communication in my 22 years than with the prosecution and the Gonzalez family, Gray said. However, the Gonzalez family may be witnesses at some point during the proceedings, meaning they likely cannot speak about the case anyway due to the gag order. Judge pointed out this would especially be the case during the sentencing phase if the prosecution decides to go forward and seek the DP. The prosecution has never interviewed the Gonzalez family. How in the world would we be witnesses? Gray asked the judge. Judge and Gray began going back and forth in somewhat of a tense exchange about what authority judges have over the statements of family attorneys. Help me understand what you think you can't say versus what you've already been saying, Judge asked him. I have no idea, Gray said. He told the judge the court is just throwing stuff in the air to regulate his free speech. These statements didn't sit well with the prosecution, however. Lake Tahoe County Prosecutor Bill Thompson told the judge that the only reason the Gonzalez family has not been interviewed by the prosecution is because Gray had advised them not to. Mr. Gray has made representations that are simply misleading. The media is here. I don't want the public to come away with the impression that improper things have occurred. We have answered the questions we can. Some of those answers are withheld to maintain the integrity of the investigation. Another member of the prosecuted team, Bradley Rudley, told the judge he believes the Gonzalez family would fall under the gag order because they would likely be witnesses during the sentencing, contending what Judge Gray previously said. Rudley said the reason the order is in place is because each side wants to make sure a fair trial is upheld.
The alternative, sequestering or changing venue, ain't going to mitigate the impact of statements made in the case, Rudley said. Gray's statements that he isn't bound by the gag order illustrate why the order is necessary in this matter. We would ask the court to uphold the amended order. The defense had their turn and they agreed with the prosecution. The safest thing anyone could do is not speak to the media, they said. Let statements be made here and the media gets that. We don't have to have someone that's trying to whip the media into a frenzy and send this case to a firing squad or whatever, appearing to refer to the national media outlets who have speculated Kohberger could face a firing squad. But Gray fought back. This is an attempt by the prosecution to shut them up and shut me up, he said. All the information disseminated to the public from the get-go was the mayor, Chief Fry, the coroner. All those people have had interviews. We did. Judge ended the hearing by saying he wouldn't be deciding on the motion today, but would issue a written ruling as soon as possible. That's what happened in the court today, people. That's your up-to-date information. Let me know what you think.
So what will happen with this case? Will the judge lift the non-dissemination gag order? He did not make a ruling today. Judge said he'll decide later on, as soon as possible. Will that be into next week? What do you think will happen with this case? What do you think of Bryan Kohberger with the suit and tie today? I am covering this case extensively. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button. Let me know what you think. I am covering this case at all angles. Check out my Moscow, Idaho playlist. We will talk soon. Stay tuned.